So I want to ask three questions, and I'll ask one to each of you. But I want to widen the aperture of what we're speaking about. One of the things I'm concerned about is for some of the lines of questioning is about even the merit of this entire industry. So I want to find out about. I'm going to ask about jobs. I'm going to ask about the merit of this industry, and I'm ask about financial inclusion. Um, as far as jobs, I want to ask Tech NYC, what have you seen on the jobs front and companies entering into New York City, into New York State in the cryptocurrency blockchain industry? As far as I'd like to ask Elliptic about, so there's been questions about the financial meltdown or what have you. And it's my understanding that crypto, the actually cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin white paper was written on October 31st, 2008, in response and created in response to that meltdown. I'd like to find out what are the benefits of this industry with respect to traditional finance and the differences. With Global Blockchain Business Council, so I heard a term that I've never heard before, predatory inclusion. Never heard that before in my life. But concerned about how cryptocurrency, and I've heard how I'm a son of immigrants, and my parents send money to Haiti a lot. I mean, with high transaction costs, with the traditional way to do so. And I know that there are many people that send remittances through through the blockchain that shortens the time of how it's processed and reduces cost and reduces the transactional fees. Also, want to talk about the way that this industry allows folks to be able to that were traditionally excluded from the traditional markets to be able to participate. Okay, those are my questions.
Thank you, Assemblyman. I'd say, as we mentioned, there's over 400 cryptocurrency-related startups in New York. As Andrea mentioned also, right, a large number of the platforms and other major entities are headquartered or based in New York as well. So I think we see this as, a very strong sector. We see this as a sector that historically has shown, right, pays very well, right? This is a new technology. It's complex. The people, who are working on these products have to be experts. And so this is really a growing area. And I'd say outside of cryptocurrency, blockchain and Web3 related businesses also are growing, right? And well beyond. And these are all related skills, right, and professions that, for the folks who are staffing and working at these companies. So this continues to grow. The sector overall is not just limited to cryptocurrency.